All right, guys, here we are on Metropolis. Looks like it is cross positions for these guys this time, and our blue Protoss player at the top of the map from Team Liquid, it is HerO. Down to game 5 here, so both of these guys want to win. SuperNoVa wanting to win so much that he's changed his color. He is now purple. And he is, as I said just a moment ago, OGS SuperNoVa.
And, you know, Metropolis is in our map pool. Yesterday, accidentally, we saw Metropolis, as I guess players did not get the memo of what the actual map pool was, or maybe something was lost in translation. But as it is now, Metropolis is our map of choice. You will see this, of course, at IPL 4.
Yep.
And I've got to say, I am in love with our map pool for IPL 4. I know I've said it before, but it is so good. I really think that it's the best map pool right now in tournament play.
Yeah, it's quite cool. I think we've got a lot of good stuff. You know, down at SuperNoVa's base, I got to say, that like middle area with the kind of hexagonal pattern, kind of reminds me of like the rubber floor and like a lot of kids' play areas and things like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of remind you of that?
Or we went to the San Francisco Zoo, which was really cool and awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and they had this like squishy hexagonal flooring, but it was outside.
Rock,
it was yeah, but it was extremely squishy. I had no idea what the actual purpose of that was, but
I don't know. Freak people out?
I guess so. It did me. I stepped over and I was like, whoa. Trippy.
That's your freaked out sound?
Ooh.
All right.
Yes. That's more my, amazed and wonderment.
You know, I still can't think of what my favorite animal is. I like animals. I like zoos. I like pets and stuff like that. I don't have any pets right now, but...
I can't believe you don't have a favorite animal. You never had a favorite animal growing up. You never read books about one animal growing up that was, or one more than the others.
I like dinosaurs, man, and they're extinct. I feel like I need to pick an animal that's still around. Well, you never know. There could be dinosaurs in the deep jungles of Africa or something that we haven't discovered yet.
Which would be awesome, by the way. It totally supports any sort of expedition to try and find them.
Sounds like a fun trip.
Yep. I don't care how financially viable it is. We need dinosaurs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, out of both our players, HerO, pretty normal stuff now. Not throwing down his second gas right away, though. And SuperNoVa looks like he's going to go for a 1 Rax gasless fast expand.
Yes, indeed. There's the command center going down. The fast expand part of the gasless fast expand has appeared.
That's true. A wild fast expand has appeared.
That's right. It's super effective.
It uses Marines. It's super effective.
Yeah. Cybernetics core hidden in the back there by HerO again. He seems to like to put it there.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see if he goes for a quicker expand this game. It looks like he probably will, just from the minerals that are being built up.
Yeah, and he actually decided to bypass a Zealot, I believe, at the beginning. Yes, he did. Just went right for a Stalker, so not allocating those 100 resources. Pretty much everything of his is going to get found out. SuperNoVa critically finding that there's no second gas, of course. And oh-ho! SuperNoVa!
Interesting.
Putting down a base on the left-hand side.
Yeah, interesting. I like it. I wonder how well this is going to work. You know, this is a big risk taken by SuperNoVa here. If HerO decides to go for some sort of quick-hitting, heavy 2-base play, you know, say something like a 7-gate or something like that, or 6-gate, it could be pretty rough for SuperNoVa. So a little bit of risk early taken by our Terran player, but I like it. I like risks.
I do
pretty
too.
Fun to see.
Yep. I also like Risk, the board game.
Oh, man, absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about risks.
You know, here's the thing, though, is that if SuperNoVa does get away with it, he's going to have such a nice little economy going that he'll be able to produce a ton of bio. You'd have to imagine that he's just going to go mass, bio with this one and add on medevacs and then ghosts and things later on, depending on what he sees HerO going for.
Absolutely, and we'll see what HerO does in response now. He decided to go 2nd gate, then Robo. Looks like he's going to add on a 3rd gate, I would imagine. No, just a pylon up at the front, just waiting for a little while. He does have pretty good Stalker control. He's going to move up here and see there's a bunker put down and immediately needs to run away. Yeah. But, yeah, he does have pretty good control over the map right now.
Oh, he's getting out that Robo Bay quick because he needs to know what his opponent is doing, He needs to know if it's going to be that type of 1-1-1 that we saw last game, if it's going to be an expand. He just needs to know. So yeah, expect an observer immediately after this robotics buffet finishes. And I'm surprised he's been so active with these stalkers out on the map, but he has not yet scouted that hidden base. He's just not looking absolutely everywhere.
No, he's not. Not even a Kurt. Oh, wow. At some point, he did make his way up there. I think that was during the initial scouting, though, and not actually during this. But if that stalker were to make its way up to the top left, I would be so happy.
You know, I wonder when he did scout that. I didn't catch it. It's not a possible spawning position anyway, so...
The close positions by air? These two?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind. I was thinking of SuperNoVa, but...
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So, let's see here, though, as we have 2 more gateways coming up. So 4-gate Robo, once again, has kind of been what HerO has decided is the appropriate ratio of gates as he gets his upgrades and moves into later tech in the game. It's the third game where he's done that.
And it's something you can certainly expand off of as well. It's not all in by any stretch of the imagination. No. But he will have, a very strong gateway force, and he can move quickly into Colossi as well if he chooses to.
And where is this second observer going to go? Looks like it's just going to sit on top of his base. Back at home for now, and SuperNoVa catching a couple of stalkers, and they split up, move around that pillar in the middle, but HerO not done with those quite yet. Still wants to get a good beat on what his opponent is doing. But has seen all unupgraded Marines so far. No combat shields down, of course, and we're already 8 minutes into the game.
Yep, and that should tell him a lot. It should tell him that there's a lot of barracks sitting in his opponent's base. It should tell him that he kind of went for quite a while without getting gas. So HerO should have, a reasonably good idea about what's going on, but he still has no idea that there's a third base. He may be kind of misunderstanding how exactly many barracks that SuperNoVa does have, or how many tech-producing structures he has.
Right. And taking a look around now, yeah, it looks like those stalkers are finally going to bounce away. We have 2 observers sitting inside of SuperNoVa's base, and he saw the infrastructure and saw that, honestly, for that amount of production, for those just 3 barracks and not a ton of updates or anything, factory coming a little bit late. So, and looks like he's moving all of his units up to the front, starting a couple of warpins as well. Wants to put on some pressure.
All he has to do is go the opposite direction, and he gets a free base kill, but he has no idea.
No, he doesn't.
Yep, using that observer to gain vision on the high ground, it looks like he will be able to kill that supply depot. Generally, as a Terran player, you kind of expect to lose those if you wall off at some point.
And now the Immortal has joined. Another round of warpins is going to happen here in just a second, but already throwing down the Guardian Shield and a couple of Force Fields as well. Going to try and bust his way through the bunker, but there were a couple of SCVs that were actually in the front of the bunker, so it survives for a little bit longer. The Immortal is just a little bit too strong, though. Does eventually punch through it. A second bunker is not finished for SuperNoVa, and he actually loses some bio units up at the front, though.
Wow, this attack is going really, really well for Liquid HerO right now. Probably focus down that other bunker here too. He gets a chance. There he goes, killing that off.
Yeah.
And the natural does need to be lifted. The nice thing is he's still got a third hidden base that HerO doesn't know about. So this success at the natural expansion of SuperNoVa may actually give HerO a little bit of overconfidence. We'll have to see how much of an effect it actually does have.
Where it's one of those situations where I think HerO may believe that he's way farther ahead than he actually is, but he's just going to go ahead and push and press it right now. We'll see if a few more units come off the line. Yeah, he's actually trapping those SCVs, but a few more get through than I think were expected. But that actually just allows them to get killed a little bit easier. More units warping in right now for SuperNoVa. He's trying to hang on as best he can.
And somewhere along the line, it looks like he did lose his probe, too, so he's not going to be able to put a pylon up in the base or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it looks like SuperNoVa may just barely have enough to push out HerO, but he's going to lose so much doing it.
Yeah, he will eventually here. Yeah, a couple more units going down. HerO can pick himself off
the medevac.
Ooh,
that does help.
Yeah, see you later.
Out a medevac like that.
Kill Immortal there, certainly worth its weight in gold.
Yep.
HerO has not expanded out of this. In fact, he's adding on Colossi 1-1 and 2 more gateways, so this will eventually be 6-gate Robo with Robo Bay off of 2 bases.
Sees an opportunity to maybe do some damage to the command center, and does do some damage to the command center.
Yeah.
And wow, SuperNoVa losing just so much mining time, having those SCVs in with the forces. He's not doing all that great. And it's coming down the ramp. He wants to try, but he's got to worry about force fields. Oh, there we go. Okay, so he is going to drop. Probably a little bit better plan there.
Much smarter. And so SuperNoVa probably not going to pursue these too far, and it looks like indeed HerO is going to go home. He's trying to put up another base, but the factory overhead has actually proven to be useful for once, and does see that this is coming up.
Yeah, but what can he really do about it, other than be a little bit smug that he has had a third base going himself for most of the game right now. So HerO doing some damage, but not as much as he thinks he did, probably.
Right.
I mean, look at that. That's been mining minerals really, really well since the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, there's mineral patches there that are getting low now, so...
A little bit, yeah.
Very impressive, and let's go ahead and take a look back on HerO's side of things. His expansion is about 3/4 of the way done. He cleans up the rocks in between those bases there, and does have a few Colossi popping out. There are no medevacs. I'm sorry, not no medevacs. There are no Vikings on the field right now, though, so those Colossi are going to be pretty well protected.
Now, here's a question. We've been talking lately off and on about the scroll wheel trick for clicking very rapidly.
Yes.
You right-click to your scroll wheel. which you can do right in the game menus. It doesn't require any sort of special drivers or anything to do it, so technically it's tournament legal. And Protoss is like, well, we really don't have anything we can do with it. What about warping in units extremely quickly with that? Instead of just left-clicking each place you want to warp it in, you can hold down the key for your warp gates and then, click really rapidly. But what if you just moved your mouse and scrolled the mouse wheel and warped it into that?
Interesting.
It wouldn't make a big difference, but it would be slightly faster. So
yeah, I mean,
something, I guess.
Having that fraction of a second faster of being able to spam units down, that would be useful. It's certainly not as cool as, say, putting down 50 infested Terrans or Snipe Scroll Wheel or something like that, but it is still something, yeah.
So I'm just trying to help you Protoss guys out a little bit.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I think about the Protoss players.
Yes, briefly, and then you laugh at us. So.
No, I'm like, oh, they're so OP.
Big drop coming in for SuperNoVa. Now, HerO has been on top of drops this entire set. That's one thing he's really had going for him. But, of course, SuperNoVa going to yet another base. This base is just paid off in spades.
Yeah, that's right. We're not talking about the Terran player from North America. We're talking about the metaphor that means it paid off a lot.
That's very literal. All right, well, let's see here now.
Right. I've suddenly become SC2 joke explainer, apparently.
It was you all along.
I will not take credit for that. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right.
It was not me. That's a much more clever person than me.
Well, there's another drop over on the right-hand side of the map. There's a photon cannon there, but it's a little far away, so SuperNoVa will be able to drop down some units. He's getting a little close there, and we're going to see some warpins now. So this should get cleaned up pretty quickly. SuperNoVa using this to start moving forward, posturing a little bit in the middle of the map. Of course, he does have his 4th base done. Now they're all orbital commands.
Wow, this is such a close game right now. I mean, it is a game that SuperNoVa is winning economically, but such a strong army composition right now from HerO.
Yeah.
And there are 3 Vikings being produced at once, though, so SuperNoVa responding appropriately. I just don't know how this one's going to go. I mean, it all depends on that engagement later in the game.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Let's see here, though, as charge is done. No blink necessary for now. Storm actually not being researched, just relying on...
I heard a feedback.
I did as well. Let's see. Not over there. Was it over on this side?
Might have been on a medevac somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks guilty.
Yeah, and he does have a kill, so...
That's right.
I'd say it was him. So drop averted.
Yep, wasn't on the factory, that's for sure. Yep.
Oh,
looks like
awesome.
HerO is the first person to max out, but SuperNoVa not too far behind at all.
No, and HerO looks like he's going to take a 4th base behind this before he starts putting on some pressure.
Yep.
Of course, those 3-3 upgrades are already well on the way, about 1/3 of the way done. Those are going to finish very quickly.
Oh, SuperNoVa and HerO both need to be very careful right now. They need to engage at just the perfect time. Charge is more or less revealed. If SuperNoVa didn't know about it by now, he should.
Right. And let's see here now as... both guys just kind of posturing for now. HerO could put down another Nexus. Finally just started to put that down. 3-3 upgrades. Storm and Blink all going to finish up about at once, though. So it looks like he's waiting on that. But, of course, it does give SuperNoVa the time to go ahead. And he still doesn't know about that base on the left.
He really just hasn't scouted quite as well as he could have in the early game. And it's coming back to haunt him a little bit. The big advantage that HerO has right now is that his upgrades are quite a bit better. He's still not going to scout that base. Oh, now he is. Okay, finally seeing those zealots in there.
I know there's a... Okay, let's see here. I've actually got to follow the engagement. A couple of EMPs hitting, and looks like the Colossi actually taking quite a bit of damage already. SuperNoVa driving back some of those forces. Another Colossus coming up. And these zealots, oh, that's got to be terrible feeling there for HerO as he sees that base is almost mined out.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you've had this for a while, haven't you? All
yes.
Right. But still okay. You know, SuperNoVa has a big economy, a big army here. He's got a good composition, but so does Liquid HerO.
Yeah.
A lot of it is, you know, again, going to come down to the control, and these Zealots are going to do a lot of damage before they die.
Right, because his opponent was maxed and couldn't produce any forces. But the Vikings have such a nice position on the high ground there. They pick off one Colossus basically for free. Base going to get canceled? No, it just dies. 400 resources gone for HerO.
What a terrifying bio army for SuperNoVa here. That's so much damage packed in that ball of Marine Marauders. Yeah, and a good amount of Vikings there as well, and just not a lot of anti-air for Liquid HerO. He's trying to warp in more Stalkers. Does he have enough Templar that have Storms that can even this out? That's kind of the big question right now.
Does have 3 sitting there. He manages to do a little bit of damage to the Vikings. They're starting to move up against this force. Is he going to commit with a couple of Storms, trying to get those units down the ramp for the best possible Storm position? But these Vikings are proving to be so effective. The Colossi are dying in mass.
Yep, and HerO being very patient, not using a single Storm yet. The Vikings do, of course, see it, so I think that SuperNoVa should be expecting it. But HerO deciding to wait until the exact right moment to use that, and it may be now.
Let's see.
Or not. We'll see. There
it is. The first one was great. The second one, SuperNoVa juked quite a bit, but the third one was beautiful.
Yeah, huge damage done.
Oh, and the feedbacks are gorgeous, and that's a 70 supply advantage for HerO. He's going to try and push this right now. SuperNoVa reinforcing very quickly, though, of course, he is on quite a few bases, but at the same time, HerO, with some photon cannons protecting Warpins, he is denying bases.
Yep, that's right. So HerO's going for the kill now. He's got such a nice supply lead. That attack went so well in his favor. Really got to give him credit for being patient with those storms. It must have been really hard not to use those on the Vikings while they were killing his Colossi, but waited till the right time, and it certainly paid off. Those Vikings are like, we saw what happened to the last one. Be careful.
Those storms were so good. The first and third ones were just perfect. So we'll see if he can continue to push this home now. The bio units are actually in a small spot. SuperNoVa GG's.